Hello, everyone. Welcome to Literary Exploration Summer School Edition. Summer School this year will run from June 10th through July 11th, and you get Juneteenth and July 4th off. So I'm Mrs. Liptak. I will be your instructor this summer. If you need anything at all, please send me an email to dliptak@bths201.org. If you're having a hard time finding that email or if it's not popping up, if you type up DZAP, you might have better luck. All right, at its core, Lit Explorations is an independent reading course. So, studies find that students who read as little as 20 minutes a day see the following benefits. So, you will likely have better standardized testing scores and grades. If you are not super thrilled with your SAT score last year, I would really recommend rescheduling the SAT test for maybe the end of the summer because I think you will see your reading test improve. Students who read 20 minutes a day are more likely to vote, are more likely to be employed, are more likely to be employed with higher paying jobs, and are even more likely to live longer. So, despite these facts, right, less than 40% of teens read 20 minutes a day, and even worse, less than 20% of adults read 20 minutes independently a day. So, I think if you can become an avid reader, you will notice that you will surpass your peers pretty quickly. All right, a little bit more about this course. All weekly assignments and a suggested reading schedule will be available to you each Monday. Typically, I will post even before Monday. You should see right now that I have the first 2 weeks of assignments unlocked as well as the very first assessment. After the first 2 weeks, I will unlock the remainder of the course. So you'll have weeks 3 through 5 at that point. Each week, you will be assigned a reading log and a Google form quiz or discussion. So the reading log just takes track of what you read throughout the week, and then the Google form will often accompany an article about reading. Our first week, the Google form is just about the course itself, and then our final Google form is more of a discussion question. And then that counts for 50% of your grade. The second half of your grade comes from your assessments. Most of you will have two assessments. The first one is due June 26th by 3:30 p.m. That is a little different. Your other assignments are due each week, Sunday by midnight. So just be mindful of those due dates. Um, again, the only time it becomes a little different is for that first assessment and then the last week because that course ends early. Or as far as selecting a novel, you get to choose what you read. So that is kind of nice. So when you're selecting your novel, just keep in mind it needs to be grade appropriate. So you should be reading at a high school grade level. I will say though, if you got your star scores back last year and you noticed you are reading, maybe at a seventh grade level, I am totally fine with you reading a book that's more appropriate for where you are at right now. Just send me an email so I know that and I can check your star score and I don't, not approve your book. All of your novels should be at least 150 pages or more, and they need to be approved by me. So you'll see a sheet on Google Classroom that you need to fill out your novel author page count, and that's where I will say approve or not approved. Okay. As far as how much you should be reading, I would recommend reading for at least an hour a day just to make sure you're keeping up with our class requirements. Okay, next up is your novel assessment. So, again, most of you will have two assessments for the summer. You get to choose how you show your learning. So, you can choose to complete a book talk on either Flipgrid, Screencastify, or really any medium that allows you to share it with me is fine. You can also choose to take a test that's specific to your book. If you're choosing this option, make sure you notify me as early as possible. This is not an option for every book. This is an online platform and not every book is available. So if you do choose this option, make sure you notify me in advance so I can tell you if it's available for you or not. The most popular option is option C. This is an open-ended response. This is what you see available right now on Google Classroom. I think students like this just because you can kind of preview the assessment questions and answer it as you go. I do want to talk real quickly about Google Classroom and how I have it organized. So most of your content is underneath the classwork tab. So you will see I have it chunked by topics. It'll be novel assessments. Again, right now, the first novel assessment is unlocked. The second one will become unlocked after that second week of school. Okay. Then the next topic is where you will find your Google form and discussions. Again, our first week's Google form is just about the course information. The second one, you're reading an article and answering questions that correspond to the article. You will notice the article is linked in the Google form. So that's where you can find that. The third topic is where your reading logs will be found. Again, depending on the week, you're reading 3 to 4 days a week. Okay, so just be mindful of that. I would also highly recommend looking at the sample log that I have at the top of the sheet, just so you know my expectation. Do not try to write 1 to 2 sentences and think you're going to get full credit. I just want to make that clear. Okay. And then at the bottom, you can see the course overview. That's where you'll see more information about the novel assessments, the course syllabus, and the one that I really want to point out is our agenda. So this is going to be the most useful doc to you. It looks just like this. So it breaks down what you should be doing every single day of summer school. Pay attention to what I have highlighted in blue. That helps you kind of find where the information is if you're having a hard time with Google Classroom. And then highlighted in yellow is where you can find all of the due dates. Okay. The last thing I want to mention, I know I've talked about you reading 2 books and completing 2 novel assessments. The only exception to that is if you choose to read a long, rigorous kind of college bound classic. So I'm thinking like Little Women, Oliver Twist, right? If you're reading a book that's 400 pages or more, right? Let me know and I can approve that you just read one. Now, let me be clear that will not fly with any young adult literature. It really is going to be kind of these canonized classics, okay? If you have any questions throughout the semester, please do not hesitate to reach out to me, okay?